And I said, if you're not doing anything,
I know.
just come on down to the restaurant.
Correct.
And people call me,
But it should have
harass
been,
me and
like,
say,
if you're out and about.
well, I should have said out and
Because
about.
everybody's got to eat
Yeah.
and have some.
Don't say if you're not doing anything.
Yeah, that was.
So, and I also realized that maybe people don't get that we're fooling 90% of the time.
Are we? You're fooling? This isn't real?
I don't know if those of you who don't know me, I'm slightly sarcastic.
Just a little bit.
And I'm able to maintain that sarcasm and straight face pretty good. So if you get sarcasm, maybe I'm the funniest guy you ever met. But if you don't,
I know
then
somebody
you're
who
like,
thinks you're pretty funny.
yeah. Oh, let's do a special shout out to our number one fan, Shirls Ribeiro. She's our most tenured listener. She's the only one we've had in the studio audience before. She's Carol's mother.
Yeah.
And she thinks I'm hilarious.
She does. And,
Yeah.
you know, I'm proud. And, Mom, I'm very proud of you.
Yeah.
She's going to be 91 in
That's
October.
awesome. Yeah.
And,
I have a connection.
yeah, and she finds you hysterical.
Yeah. And I think your husband doesn't mind me either.
No, he doesn't mind you.
Yeah, but I get feedback from a lot of people that I'm too hard on Carol. I'm too hard on. What people don't know is I have to work with her for 6 hours every day, and trust me when I tell you this, she zings me a lot. So you know what I was thinking about? Remember that episode on Seinfeld where George is going on a date and he's like, Jerry, don't be funny.
Right.
And Jerry goes into Mr.
Very serious.
serious mode.
And she falls for
And then
Jerry.
she falls for that. So I'm going to be serious. I'm going to be serious, Kev, today.
You are.
So, yeah, no zinging
I don't
you.
think
That's
you
it.
can maintain.
Big E's going on. We're super excited about that. September 27th is Westfield Day, so we'll be frantically passing out tickets to all the kids.
Yeah.
For the kids, and they cannot go before.
2, right?
I think it's 2. Yeah.
Yeah.
They can't go before 2:00. I'll be steering clear of that. Boy, did I see some of the foods. Any of the foods pique your interest at the Big E?
I'm not one of like a fried food person.
Yeah.
But I don't mind once in a while. I like the.
I haven't been in a
Yeah.
long time.
But there is something you're very interested in. I know.
I know. I saw those. My buddies Matt and Katie, they brought pictures. I saw them out, and they're like, they were eating. She took pictures of all the food
Of
that she
everything they were
had.
eating?
And this one, and so does Miss Camp. She does it too.
Oh.
She writes down everything she had. But the shepherd's pie meatballs. No, they're not meatballs. They're just balls.
They are.
They look so
fried
good. Yeah, we
shepherd's
got to get
pie.
those to me. Yeah. So Westfield Day, September 27th. Listen, this show is for the kids, run by the kids. So this is our own show for Westfield Tech. All the kids are behind stage. Who do we got? Curtis today. We'll get the names of everybody that's working the show. Hey, Kurt. Last week we had our other crew. We have Alternating
Yep.
Crews.
Yep.
And this week we have we're gonna have a really good show. We got cross country on today with Mr. Faggy and some of the runners.
Right.
We're gonna have Mr. Paquette on, our new assistant principal
Right.
here in the district. What's
Well,
going
we're
on?
at Westfield Tech.
Let's keep. If anybody is paying attention, if you like the show, you're listening on WSKB 89.5 on the radio right now, or you can watch it live on WCPC 15.
I'm sorry. I'm having
what's
another
wrong?
issue
What?
with the placement.
Yeah.
I don't like sitting here, and I got the chair that after a few minutes of sitting on it, you slide down.
Yeah, that's my secret torture for you. I
Yeah,
did that.
now I look
planned that.
like you're a foot taller than me.
Yeah, well, I
It
like
is-
it, and I still have no hair, so this isn't
That's
helping.
why this
I'm
doesn't
actually going to
matter.
talk to electrical about put some kind of maybe some canned lamps in here because I'm not as bald as I look,
So then,
but I am.
it doesn't.
It doesn't matter. It's really
but
appealing. You like bald guys. I mean, like Mr.
My
Groom shaves his
husband,
head too.
yes.
Anyway,
But
come on, let's what?
I would prefer sitting on that side, and so this is the last day we're doing this.
Well, we're going to do a Facebook poll now that we can do that. So we'll see. Do we like Mrs. Groom on the left or on the right? That'll be up soon up on Facebook, and we'll see what the people say.
Okay.
All right.
Yep.
What about everybody that's going listening and pays attention to us? We have the Freshman Explorer Tour going on. That's the biggest thing that goes on right now.
Right.
Through the holidays is the freshmen. How do we get them in the shops? And so they know and start liking what they're doing. But right now, it's the 1 days.
We're doing 1 days, and each shop, there are 12 shops. So each student, they're in groups, and it's by alphabet. There's not any special scheduling that we do with that, but they go to 12 different shops on each of the days over their shop weeks.
And why do they do that, Mrs. Grimm?
Well, they have to get a little exposure.
Yeah, it's
to
state law.
Yeah, and during exploratory to be able to choose the next step in exploratory, which would be the 1 weeks.
Yeah.
So if they didn't have experience,
So
one day.
the innocence of the freshmen it's great. I love it, and they are still trying to figure out. They all think they want a certain shop, which is great.
Yeah.
But
They do.
I love that when they go into another shop that they didn't know we had,
Right.
or they didn't, and they always like, yeah, actually, I could see myself doing
Yeah.
IT
Some
or
kids
construction.
are already struggling. They haven't even done a 1 day.
Yeah.
And they're already struggling. Like, I don't know what shop to
Yeah.
pick.
Don't panic. It'll
that's
it'll
it.
it'll all
We'll work
it'll all
together.
work itself
Yeah.
out. So it's
Yep.
great. We're going to start our outreach pretty soon. So we'll be going over to the middle school and selling the school a little bit.
Right.
We got a nice PowerPoint. You're going to lead that presentation. I can't wait. You're going to be the #1 presenter.
Okay.
So let's work on that. And then co-op is going strong. We're over 20 kids on co-op already.
That's great.
Which is good. And again, what's my goal?
100.
A hundo, but I don't. Like last year we came a little short, but we already have most of manufacturing out. We have a lot of auto tech. I just went to Marcotte Ford with Mr. Rainey and set up a co-op over there, which is awesome. We got a couple of kids, hopefully going to the American Inn in Southwick. So if you're a business and you're listening by fluke on 89.5, and you need some helpers or workers, and give us a call 572-6533.
So a couple questions
Oh, for me.
for you about co-op. Mm-hmm. So
This is loaded.
no, it's
Oh,
not.
it's not. Okay,
No,
go ahead.
no. So when you go to Marcotte,
Yeah.
what kind of placement are you looking at? Because they have office, they have
Yeah.
finance, they have.
Yes. So right now it's just a technician, so an auto technician, which is the place is awesome, right? But I did talk to his name is Gary Stebbins. I did talk to him like we also have business people, like we
Right.
can have people in answering the phones, customer service.
Right.
So a couple years ago we sent somebody, I think, to another dealership to do that, and we also can do parts. So a few years ago we had a kid from auto collision tech.
Collision tech, yeah.
Work in the parts department.
Nice.
Which was
Okay.
great. So
So one placement can have multiple
oh yeah,
positions.
yeah, it's great. So
And one other question for you
more.
about co-op.
Okay,
Boy,
You're using up
I don't
your
want to
limit.
bother you here, but I just, when looking over the past couple of years, have you increased the students going out on co-op?
oh my God, are you kidding?
Why am I asking the question?
Oh no, yes. I mean we were typical. Well, we always had like manufacturing was always great, and there's a big demand for manufacturing students. I think auto tech has increased dramatically. I keep like when we have our teacher meeting. Just let's try to get these guys out there. We're getting more people from the community calling us. And I'm gonna. This is a great question. You know when I had an idea, and did I mention this already?
I don't know because I don't know what's happening next.
I want to put a screen, like
yes,
a monitor.
You did mention this. Sorry. Yeah.
And I just hit the superintendent up, like, how do we get this happening?
Yeah.
Because somebody just called about they couldn't commit to 30 hours, but they had a kid that they'd love an after school student, like 2 to 6 or something like that, or 3 to 6. And I said, well, that's not co-op because you need 30 hours or more, but maybe I can put a board up where we get all our jobs because we get, even if it's something like Burger King or
Right.
whatever, because these kids come up and they're like, hey, Mr. Daly, I want to go on co-op. It's like, oh, maybe you're not eligible yet,
Right.
but I got a job for you here if you're willing to do 12, 15 hours a week.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's perfect amount for a high school
That's
kid,
great.
you know?
Yeah, making that money after school is
Yeah.
great for some kids.
Money for saving for a car or for gas or whatever. Gas, I mean,
Yeah.
it's expensive right now. So we got a lot going on. Co-op is going well. We still have our house build going on at Mill Street, which is awesome.
It really looks
I actually have
nice.
to get over there and check it out, but I think we're a lot of interior stuff now. Hopefully it's done soon. I don't know when the due date is. And also, we just finished our Department of Transportation came in. I think we talked about that last week or no? Were they
I can't remember on air off.
you're
here.
too busy trying to zing me. But we actually had the Department of Transportation come in and pour concrete on our sidewalk. So thank you to them
we
for
did
that. And we used our students to, they showed them how to do it. We
Right.
dug up the old stuff that was all broken and chipped.
It looks nice.
And it looks amazing.
Yeah, and
So every year
actually
for the
walked
past,
there.
thank you to Mr. Tulumas for setting that up, and Tommy Lemon, who comes in from the DOT, and Jeff Cathcart, and they come in and they show the kids soup to nuts. Remove the concrete, bring new concrete in, pour it.
And those
it's-
kids worked hard.
Oh my God! It was the
In the
week
hottest
of the,
day
It
of
was the week of the humidity. So anyway, what we're gonna do quick is we got a guest coming on, so we're gonna run to a quick, maybe like a quick TV ad, and then or not, because Mr. Forney is paying. We're gonna run to a quick TV ad, and then we will bring our guest on, Mr. Paquette, and we'll talk about what's going on from his perspective at Westfield Tech Academy.
It's very cool to see things behind the scenes.
Yeah. Or we're not. So what we're going to do is we're going to call in Mr. Paquette right now and bring him in. This is live TV, guys, run by the kids, and we're going to bring Mr. Paquette in. He's our new assistant principal here. Typically, we'll go to a commercial, but, we just roll with it.
We do.
We're gonna live.
You don't let the people know that.
So, Mr. Paquette, you got a headset right there, and you got to eat the microphone, basically. So put it in, you got to move it and eat close. So Dan Paquette is our new assistant principal here. We always like to showcase a new staff member. Are we good? Yeah.
Yeah, one of them's turned the up.
All right, fix that.
I
Yeah,
can't really fix
you can fix it. You can. We always like to. We
Fix
have
it
9
for
new.
you. Can I fix it
Guys,
for
can we
you?
do a show here? Do you guys mind?
Just so you
We
know,
do a
the
show?
show is all about him.
Okay. 9 new staff members. One of the new staff members is Mr. Paquette. He's our assistant principal, as you know. We've had Mr. Mr. Hastings has taken VP over,
It's fixed.
and now he is the principal for now. And Mr. Paquette has moved into the assistant principal. Mr. Paquette, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
You can actually move that up, I think.
you.
It's okay. So, Mrs. Groom, are we all set over there, our AV gal?
Yeah, I fixed the earphones.
Hey, incidentally, I got some Taylor Swift news for you that I want to talk to when we
Oh,
come
I
back.
can't
from the break.
wait.
It's your big
Oh my
Swiftie.
gosh, can we do it now?
No, we got to wait.
Thank God.
So, Mr. Paquette here, he's year number 1 here at Westfield Tech Academy, moving in assistant principal. First of all, give us a little background, Dan, on your educational background, how you started and how you ended up here.
So I started off, I was a teacher of social studies at Chicopee Comprehensive High School. I taught there for around 13 years. Then I went on to Palmer High School, where I was offered a job at Westfield High School to be an assistant principal. And then from there, I ended up here because there was an opening, and this is a great opportunity.
What do you think so far?
I'm really enjoying my time here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome. Is there a pattern, or in order to go
Male
into administration?
baldness pattern?
No. In order to go
Yes.
into administration, you have to be a social studies teacher?
You know what? It's a good question, Mrs. Grimm. I think that the social studies teachers are the most normal out of all the teachers.
There you go. It's either that or
no
a
offense
coach,
to
right?
anybody
Right,
that's not.
exactly. It's either PE
Yeah.
or it's social studies.
It's a good question. I don't know. I don't think
and I
Mr.
say that because you were what kind of teacher?
I was social studies as
Correct.
well.
And
Yeah.
Mr. Zaporowski?
I believe he was social studies.
Social studies.
Yeah.
I just find
Yeah.
Principal of the high school is
Yeah.
social studies teacher.
there we go.
Yeah, yeah,
See?
yeah.
It's interesting because, when we interviewed for a social studies teacher, there used to be a tremendous, I'm sure when we started, I'm a little older than Dan, but when we started, social studies teachers were like literally a dime a dozen, so it was, what did you bring extra to the table? I think that got you in. Like, are you willing to coach? Are you willing to do clubs?
Yep.
Are you an AP guy? Something like that. And that would get you in because there's so many. I remember when I started Agawam, there's so many applications.
Over
Of course,
80, yeah.
Yeah, of course I wowed them on my interview, so that was
Right.
that was a
And
good
guess
thing.
what I'm licensed in?
Boredom.
Social studies.
Oh, social studies. Oh, good. So we needed a social studies teacher today, this year, so that would have been good. Okay.
Oh, what did that mean?
That's a demerit for Mr. Daly.
So anyway, Dan. So far you've been here a month. Tell us you were at Westfield High. What do you think the difference? What have you noticed as the difference between Westfield High and Westfield Tech in your short time here?
I mean, the most noticeable difference is
Yeah.
obviously the shop buy-in and the pride that the students have in their shops in general, and their willingness to like almost like the excitement to say like, this is my shop and here's what I'm doing today and I want to show it to you.
Yeah.
Like it's not like I don't want to like say like the academic side is anywhere different or anything like that, but like it's just that pride in accomplishing like a product or like what they're working on, and really like being like all in on it. So that's like the big difference. And not saying like nobody's all in on going to like chemistry
Yeah,
or
no.
biology
Right.
or
No.
anything like that there, but it's like having that like that tangible product or that pride in what I've accomplished this week is really the big difference.
Yeah, that's that's why they're here, right?
Yeah,
So they're
it's
here
a
for the
huge
shops. And
carrot.
it's not to diminish the academic side of the school. I mean, they have to do it. They have to pass the MCAS. They got to do all that stuff. And some kids do love. I mean, clearly we have awesome teachers here that the students love going to. But the reason they applied here in the first place is to get in these shops.
It's the draw to the
Yeah,
school.
yeah.
For sure.
So 13 years in at Comp, teaching, coaching.
Coaching, yep.
Primarily what sport?
Football.
Football.
I had some other dabbling coaches
Yeah.
As well.
But football was your bread and
was
butter
mine.
right
Yep,
there.
Yep.
And now you're no longer coaching, correct?
I coach my son's
Nice.
very young,
Yeah.
grade 2nd to 4th football team.
That must be amazing.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're defeated
Yeah.
currently, but maybe we'll get better.
Nice. What is primarily here? You're in charge of mostly discipline, right?
Mm-hmm.
How has that been compared to Westville High? And it just, did you think the shops have anything to do with it, or what is your experience so far? Like, or the same kind of issues at the high school? Or what?
I mean, I don't want to say it's the same kind of issues.
Yeah.
There's definitely different issues at the high school than here, but it's still the same. It's still dealing with students between the grades of 9 and 12. There's still social media. There's still
Yeah.
kids
Growing
being
up.
kids and growing up in
Yeah.
maturity and things along that line there. But on the the larger scale, I mean, you double the students, you're probably going to double the problems.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
here there's 50% less,
Yeah.
give or take. And,
Right.
And but also it does seem like shop week versus academic
Yeah.
week, there's probably a difference, or the being with the same group of kids all
Yeah.
day while you're in your shop versus rotating your schedule and things along that line. So there's and then the week on week off, even from a staff perspective, someone who might be struggling during an A week might have a very successful B week and
Right.
vice versa. So it's
Yeah, I don't
that's
think
big
I don't think it changes much. I think there's always kids that are growing up, right? So everybody comes in at different levels. There's always teachers that have or students that have a maybe a conflict with a teacher, or they just don't gel, and that's always an issue. That's never going to change. And like you said, the social media hasn't gone anywhere, and that hasn't changed either. It's no different from any school you go to. It's if you go to an assistant principal meeting and you say, what is the number one thing that you're handling with discipline? It's social media. It's kids not knowing how to use their technology appropriately, or just not mature enough to handle it. And the great thing is we bring them in as freshmen, and as freshmen we're telling them to keep their hands off each other,
Right.
and don't touch and pick up your trays. And then by the time they're seniors, they're like, hey, can you sign my papers? I'm going to work.
Yeah.
I'm out of here.
Yeah.
So it's a good thing. So, Mrs. Groom,
Yeah.
I'm gonna do you have anything for Dan?
I have Fast Five.
Oh, okay. So
don't
we're
know
gonna
when
do
we're
this.
ready for
Yeah.
it.
So we're gonna do this little fast five thing. So we always ask a newbie, 5 questions. You don't have to think. They're quick answers.
Yeah.
Be fast, super fast.
Yeah.
We used to have music for this, but we'll see what happens.
This is kind of like Family Feud, right?
Yeah,
there?
yeah, sort of like
Okay,
Family
all
Feud.
all
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
liking
Go
this.
ahead, Mrs. Groom.
All right. What's your favorite vacation destination?
Vacation destination? I don't know. I want to go see like the Mayan ruins.
Okay.
There we go.
Wow.
All right. Favorite restaurant?
4 how 3 Ken.
Geez,
Incidentally,
I'm really not picky with restaurants.
can I interrupt for a second?
Yeah, well-
the Mayans predicted the end of the world, December 23rd,
2012, yeah.
2012.
That's what's happening.
That's my wife's birthday.
Oh,
4 how 3 Ken.
and this is what happens when you sit between two social studies.
All right, go
teachers.
ahead.
I
Yeah.
do.
All right, what was the other
I
question?
do like Italian,
Restaurant.
but
Oh,
anywhere.
restaurant.
I would say, I don't know. I'd like be in Napoli.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
And then what's
West
nice.
Side,
Yeah.
yeah.
Bring your wallet.
Yeah.
But they're great, though. I'm
Yeah,
not. Yeah, I'm
good-
sorry.
good-
They're
yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
That goes for
Yeah,
any place. Favorite sport
Football.
and your favorite team?
My Patriots.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a local guy. Yeah.
If we played trivia right now, which subject would you win?
Music.
Music. Oh, crap.
Huh.
And-
We'll have to do a trivia.
That's a new thing I want to add to this.
You do?
Trivia.
Well, nobody's stopping you, Carol.
This is a fun fact, and this is going to make me sound really nerdy. I used to run trivia at a local area.
Oh, I guess we have our host for trivia.
Me and
You want to
friend.
do a segment with trivia with Paquette?
Yes, I think so.
It actually got a little stressful, like people like challenging like answers
Yeah.
and things
Yeah.
like that. It was like, all right.
Do you have? Hey, do you have any of those questions?
Oh yeah,
still?
absolutely.
Okay, so maybe can you come up with 3 questions every week off your list?
Sure. Yeah, I've got at least 1,000 questions.
Oh
That's-
yeah,
At least. Yeah.
That sounds
another
great.
competition.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now, finally, this is the last one. If you were a student at WTA, which shop would you choose?
Oh, right now the only one that I know for a fact that I would want to get into would be culinary. I think I've eaten there one time now, well, twice in my life, but once this year. The food's amazing, and I just feel like that would be a skill no matter whether you continue with that shop afterwards. But like one way or another, you're going to need that in life.
Yeah.
So that would be a very useful shop for me.
Awesome.
I'm not the best cook, and neither's my wife. So.
Ouch. Oh, my wife's the best cook ever.
Mine is too.
Yeah.
I was just joking.
Oh yeah.
Just in case she.
Just
happens
so
to
you
watch
know,
this.
Well, I'll be sure to
just so
send her
you
the
know,
link.
it took me a while to learn this. The people listening don't get sarcasm because it's not portrayed through the radio, and neither does Mrs. Groom apparently. Or
No.
no, you get it.
Yeah, I mean, if you can watch this, and it's better when you watch the show.
Yeah.
Just because.
Except for
you get
this
to
week.
see. Okay. All
I'm
right.
really
Yeah.
noticing on the camera my
Yeah,
my
no, the
nose
lighting is not good at all. We're
This
gonna get
is-
that fixed.
I know, and this is the
It's-
tough part
we're-
about.
I do
being
have some
on
hair
air.
left
Not-
on my head.
not
yeah.
much, but
So,
you
Mr.
do.
Paquette, thank you for joining us. Welcome to the
Yeah,
welcome to the
thank
crew.
Thanks for having me.
You're fitting in great. It's nice to have. It's always nice to have fresh blood, right?
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
rotating people through, and it's nice to have him. Who, although he was in district, he handled things differently. He's familiar with Power School differently. Everybody's got a different way of using Power School, which is nice. He's probably a little bit more computer savvy than me.
Probably.
That's not hard though. But Google, you're great at Google, so congratulations with that. You and Mrs. Grimm will get along. He's also our new MCAS guy?
He's part of the MCAS
Nice.
team.
So
Yeah.
congratulations. That's an awesome.
Thanks for letting me know that.
Yeah, that's awesome. Congratulations. If you're looking for Mr. Paquette and you got a problem with him, 572-6533, call him up. We're going to go to our first song right now, and then we'll be back with, I think we're going to bring our cross-country team in next, which
Sounds
is, they're
great.
doing awesome. So
Yeah.
stay tuned. Tiger Talk.
Take the light and darken everything around me. Calm the clouds and listen closely. I'm lost without you. Call your name every day. When I feel so helpless, I'm falling down. But I'll rise above this, rise above this. Hate the mind, regrets are better left unspoken. For all we know, this void will grow and everything's in vain. Distressing you, though it leaves me open. Feels so right, but I'll end this all before it gets me. Call your name every
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by Bay State Noble Hospital, a brand new name for a Westfield institution which is improving the health of our community every day with quality and compassion. Noble Hospital and Bay State Health, better together.
Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 89.5 FM, WSKB Westfield.
Hey, welcome back. We're live on Thursday, September 21, 23. It's 8:28 a.m. on you listen to Tiger Talk on WSKB 89.5, or you're watching us live on WCPC Channel 15, or if you don't catch us live, you can go up to YouTube.
Yeah.
Like, tag, share, check us out, WSKB Radio. We're the #1 show on WSKB Radio, so we're up to like 14 views last week, so that was good.
It's more than 14.
It wasn't more? We've pumped 100 before, so that's been pretty cool. So
over 400.
we just had Mr. Paquette on, our new assistant principal from Westville High. He's doing great. Is he? What do you think? Is he doing all right?
I do. I think, you know,
Yeah.
it's hard. I was there too. When you're in another school and in the district and you're trying to fit into a new team, it takes some time.
Yeah.
You don't want to push too hard, but you also don't, you know, you want to make sure you're doing what you need to do.
Luckily, he has some great mentoring.
That'd be you, Mr. Daly.
Yeah.
Well, we don't know. Yeah, yeah. So some, look, Mr. Hastings and Mrs. Groom, Mr. Figgy's the one.
well.
So without further,
Of all mentors.
if you haven't heard, we have a new voice on the show. It's Mr. Figgy, Ralph Figgy, Councilman Figgy.
Well, thank you.
But
Thank you.
not today.
Not today.
You are
We
Coach.
a cross-country coach.
You are Coach Figgy. I saw a beautiful article on you in the Mass Live. Make sure you get close to the microphone, Mr. Figgy, because they're telling us we're a little shallow here. Nice article. How many years was that? Did they tell you how many years you were coaching for?
I started coaching at Westfield High in 2001,
Okay,
and I've been coaching since.
20 plus years.
20 plus years.
You go back. This is a little background. You were all over the place, but I know we worked together in Agawam for a small bit.
We did. We did. I was a school counselor in Agawam High School for 24 years. During that time, I was also coaching up at Westfield High. I started coaching JV boys soccer, along with Todd Collins. I had the freshmen, he had the JVs, and Greg Strykars was the varsity coach.
Yeah.
Todd left, I moved up to JV. During that time, some of my son's friends were doing the indoor track program. And at the time, Westfield was going to get kicked out of the program because the previous coach never went by any of the rules. So they came and asked me if I would coach. I said, well, you know, you get Mrs. Figgy's permission and I'll be your coach. So they went in, they talked to my wife, and she said yes. But before that, I was a track official.
Okay.
So I'd done that for 4 years before that. So I said, well, guys, I don't know anything about track coaching. They said, don't worry about it. You take care of the paperwork, we'll take care of the rest.
That's it.
And it's been history since.
Yeah, 20 plus years later, still doing it.
Yeah, 7 years ago, Superintendent Zaporowski conned me into starting a cross-country program here.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been growing every year since. This year we're down a few. We graduated 13 seniors last year.
Yeah.
So it's hard to replace those. But we got a group of freshmen and some senior leadership, junior leadership. So team's in pretty good shape.
And I did see your assistant coach yesterday. Who's that?
Oh, assistant coach Emmett Morrill.
Emmett Morrill, who's one of our he's a local legend around here.
He is.
Also a former
you know.
Agawam teacher.
He was Agawam Middle School.
Yeah.
Yep.
if you-
Science, I believe.
If you've been around long enough, you've had him as a coach in something,
Yep.
basically.
Oh, yeah.
So he
Emmett's coached everything from Legion baseball to he was
To Little League. I had him in
coach.
Little League,
Little
yeah.
League. He's
Yeah.
he's been coaching probably as long as I've been
oh
alive.
yeah, no doubt. And he was a big runner back in the day too.
He was. He started running marathons in his middle years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Late 30s he started.
Yeah.
I believe he's got 12 marathons under
that's
his belt,
amazing.
which
That's
amazes
amazing.
me why anybody do one.
And he's a great baker, too.
He is.
He can bake.
He bakes all the time. He's our #1 sub here. The kids love him. I mean, they truly do love him.
They do.
He's all over the place. And you know what? Yesterday he got me, and he was recruiting still.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he picked up 2.
He picked up a boy and a girl.
Yeah.
So if anybody still wants to come out for cross country, we'll take you
Yeah.
whenever. you're more than welcome.
Yeah.
So
the
I have room for it, especially on the boys' side.
who did you bring with us, Mr. Figgy, to join us and talk about cross country?
I brought our boys captain, Sean Cronin, and our girls captain, Kaylin Hawley.
Hi guys.
Hi.
How are you? So I got an interesting story. So 2 weeks ago, you guys are running at Stanley Park.
Correct.
Against like Mahar. I don't know who was you.
Marhar
Yeah.
and Greenfield
Yes.
And
and
Hampshire.
Hampshire.
In Hampshire. So I once in a while get out and feel motivated. I'll do a little run. I live close to Stanley Park, so I'm gonna go for a run with my wife, and we'll start walking down back trails, and I hear. I think there's like a stampede coming of animals, and my wife's like, "What's going on?" And I was like, "I don't know." And coming around the corner are all the kids. And it was just a practice lap. It wasn't even like they hadn't even started yet. So some of the kids are running, some of the kids are walking, but the first pack were around the corner. They almost pushed me into the river because I was like, I had to get up on the side. Even though it was a practice, did you guys remember seeing me or did
Yeah.
you do? You guys, some of them kids were hauling, right?
Yes.
And then I see a couple of our kids that were like jogging a little bit, and I'm like, they're like, it's just the practice. Do you guys do a practice lap to check out the course? Is that what
we
do?
do
or
a walkthrough.
A walkthrough. But kids are running it though.
Yeah.
Yeah, some kids like to run at the end for like a little
Yeah.
warm-up jog.
Yeah.
I couldn't. I had to spray paint the
Oh, you were
the course.
spray painting, yeah.
Yeah.
So I was
Did a
like,
good job
okay,
getting all those routes.
mental note. Try not to be at the same time that the kids are coming through on the cross country.
Tuesday between 3 and 5.
Yeah. Is it every Tuesday?
Every
Is that when you guys have your meets? Okay. So let me talk to the kids here, Sean. Let me start with you. What year are you?
I'm a junior.
Junior, and what shop are you in?
Electrical wiring.
Electrical wiring. And how have you been doing cross country since freshman year?
Yes.
Okay, and I believe I got you on the tail end when you were running too, because you're running the other way. I think when it seemed like you were running one way when I saw you guys, and you're running the other way when
That was the warm up.
Oh, right.
You saw us on the warm up going back up to the starting line.
Okay,
and
that's
then
what it was.
at
And you
back
were
to
up
the
front.
race.
You were up front when you were running. So tell me, how long you enjoy running? Obviously. Do we have a record for the boys? Do you know the record right now?
17-14.
Okay. What does that mean? 17-14.
Zach ran the course 3.1 miles in
Yeah.
17 minutes
17:14.
and 14 seconds.
Okay, that's pretty good.
Oh,
That's
okay, got it.
really good. That's the record at the high school as well.
Oh, really?
Wow, okay.
Do we?
Zach.
Here's a question for everybody. Do we run with? Is that like in Western Mass? Do you get Are you running with other division schools as well?
This year we have the second reincarnation of the Westfield City Cup. So
Nice.
we are going to run against St. Mary's, Westfield High, and Westfield Vocation Tech.
Yeah.
This year we've also been invited over to Agawam to run against Central Agawam at their course. So we're starting to run some D1 programs,
Yeah.
but we are D3, and that's where
Yeah.
we belong.
Right.
But-
Yeah. Of
But
course.
yeah, it's nice to go to these other schools
Yeah.
and see things.
Well,
and
I would.
have fun.
Yeah, I would think that running is running, right? So it doesn't
Exactly.
matter if you're at a D1 school or a D3 school. If you can pump out, what's your best time?
1930.
If you can pump out 19-minute 3 miles, I mean that's still competitive with anybody else from any other school, right?
Right.
I mean your time is your time.
Yeah.
Right.
The Western Mass champ will run a 16.
16.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So, but a 19, 3 minutes behind. That's
Yeah,
respectable.
I'm just off the 16, so you guys know. You probably noticed that when I was running. I was just off.
I got a
of it.
uniform.
I probably have some years of eligibility. I
might.
may be able to do it. Kaylin, now, what is your best time? Do you know?
21 something.
And have you
I
been?
can't remember the
What year are you?
07, I think. Senior.
You're a senior. Oh, you're really a senior. My God.
What are we going to
Hard
do
to
without
believe,
Oh
her?
my God.
Next year, she's on almost
She's
every
on for
show
everything, yeah.
for sports. You
Yep.
play what other sports?
Basketball and softball.
Yeah. So she's a 3-sport athlete, and she does well in all of them. Sean, any other sports besides cross country?
I do track.
Oh, you do. We do track in the fall, in the spring.
Yes.
Do we do indoor track?
No,
Are we
do
allowed
not.
to work with
We do
Westfield High
not.
for that? No.
No.
Not the bummer.
I've been trying to get them to allow me to do that.
Yeah. Hopefully that'll work out.
Yeah.
Kaylin, senior aviation. What do you think? 4 years now. Has the program changed? Like, what do you think since when you were little bitty freshmen, nervous about running. Like, what is different now? Do you know, or do you think?
Like cross country
Yeah,
wise?
yeah, cross country, like with the team, with what's going on.
I think it's just different because this year is now my first year where I have nobody I've had since my freshman year. So I always feel like my only friend on the team now is Sean because I've known him now the longest. and
Yeah.
all of our other kids are like freshmen.
Really?
So they're a very new team.
So we got a real young team.
We do. We have a junior, a sophomore, and then the rest are freshmen.
Freshmen.
We have eight women on the team.
That's awesome.
Yeah, like to get it back up to 10.
Yeah.
The boys are only at 6. Hopefully the new recruits
Right.
from Coach Moore will come, and that'll take us to 7 and 9.
Well, we'll still keep recruiting. I think that it was closed. Like I sent the text to the AD like, hey, if we got kids, shouldn't it be open for
It is
everybody?
open.
Yeah. So we fixed that so they can get online and do family ID stuff. Sean,
Thank you for that.
Yeah. Aspirations. Are you shooting for 17 minutes? Like, what's your what's
This year I hope to break 19.
Yeah.
I don't know if that'll be happening.
Yeah. I have a question, and I'm only know Stanley Park, but the routes and the trails that you guys run on, it's like we must have injuries, right, Mr. Fig? I mean, like,
We had our first injury in a couple years.
Really?
Tuesday.
yeah,
Over at Munson. One
Okay.
of our girls sprained her ankle. But
because of the terrain,
because of the terrain, a lot of your cross
It was
country.
really bad there.
was it?
Munson
Like,
was
really bad.
Was it? So if you don't know, I mean, basically these guys are running in the woods. You know, there's some straight flat areas, I'm sure, in the field a little bit. I just picture Stanley Park. So, and then you guys are in the heart of the woods where they clear past. I mean, they're clear, but
Yep.
there's rocks, there's roots, there's terrain, there's branches. And they clearly don't shut the course down for humans.
No.
So
Or
there's-
animals.
There are animals, right? You guys ever see an animal running? And bears, deer, anything like that?
squirrel.
Squirrels.
Yeah,
well,
that's
that's
pretty
good.
Squirrels, lots
Yeah.
of. Oh, our course on Tuesday had lots of worms all
Oh.
over the course.
Oh, Mrs. Groomer, you like that, huh?
Yeah, they don't run.
Worm girl. Okay.
They also had
That will
what
make
they
me
call
run.
it, the wall of death.
What's
Yeah.
that?
It's basically like the last maybe half mile to mile of the course is all uphill, and it's this huge trail hill, and it's very steep. It's steeper than Littleville Dam, which usually we run like every other
Yeah.
year, and it's actually worse than that.
Yeah.
And by the end of it, your legs hurt very,
You're smoked.
very bad.
Yeah.
And there's huge rocks and roots that stick out, and because it's all washed out from the rain, it's like
Yeah.
really hard to run because it's unusual footing. You can't do your normal strides.
That must be like a rugged man, but that must be difficult to go to a different track, to a different place that maybe nobody's run before.
It is, and that's why you do the walkthrough first.
Yeah.
Is hopefully nobody gets lost.
Right. Have you ever?
Yeah,
You've
we
had people get lost?
Yeah, we had a kid from Springfield end up in Granville.
No way.
Yeah, from Stanley Park.
It's clearly marked, Caitlin. You have students and yourself go around, mark the course, spray paint. I see flags are up everywhere, so it's hard to get lost. What do you do during a match, Mr. Figgy, while they're running? Are you allowed to go in, like post yourself up at spots of the track, or what?
Usually, Coach Moore and I see him off at the start, and
Yeah.
we go to the finish line. We are one of the very few schools that use electronic timing. So we don't have to run a stopwatch
Mm-hmm.
at the finish line like other schools do. We also have an official on site. So we are allowed just to coach,
That's great.
which is really, really a positive benefit in my opinion.
Yeah.
And it's really nice to get the electronic timing because there's no questions
Is
on
that something like a bib they wear, or something in your shirt that
Yeah.
This
does it?
bib.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody gets a bib.
Oh, cool.
Anybody, like our kids, because we have 3 or 4 meets, we'll use the same bib every meet.
Yeah.
Because once Tom Stewart does the timing, he gets it into the database, it's there. So
Perfect.
it makes it good.
Well, sure.
It also gives them a little experience of running with a bib when we get to the end of the season. When we do our championship meets, we do the vocational school championship at Rentham Developmental School. We also do the PVIA
Yep.
at Stanley Park. This year, the Division III championship will be at Northfield Mountain.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the Tournament of Champions will be at Fort Devens. So
Wow. Okay, well, hopefully you get some
We
kids
have,
there.
we have quite a few postseason
Yeah.
opportunities.
Sean, final question for you. What's it like? What's practice like? What do you guys, when you have, I'm assuming you guys do we practice every day mostly?
We Monday through Friday.
Monday through Friday, and your meets are on Tuesdays.
Yep.
What's a typical practice look like for you guys?
So first we'll start with stretches. So
Mm-hmm.
they'll be like I forgot what they're called, but like warm up stretches.
Yep.
That's what I call them.
Plyometrics.
So, yeah, that's the good word for
Yep.
it. So you go back and forth and just like different stretches to get you loosened up.
Yep.
And then we usually do like 2 or 3 laps to start warming up, and then we could do. It varies. Like
Yeah.
we could be doing like a long run, which will go all the way around the school, or we'll do the hills. We'll do sprints, caterpillars.
Bleachers?
Yes. Oh, I forgot about bleachers.
That's today.
Oh, nice.
Oh, shucks.
Oh.
Yeah.
Bleachers, and we do the hill up to aviation and back.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I might join you. You know,
Okay.
if you
You're
guys,
always welcome.
if you guys can keep up. What time do you guys start?
Like
2:15.
2:15.
Oh, I can't. I wish I could, but that's
Timing is everything.
Yeah.
What a shit.
You know.
You know, if you want, I can talk to Mr. Hastings and maybe get you an exemption.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let me get back to you about that. But it's good. Congratulations on having a good season so far. Looking forward to. I know to steer clear of you on Tuesdays now. That's a mental
Yes.
note. All right, Mr. Figgy. Thanks for. I keep thinking you're going to retire, but you're not. You can't
Well,
retire.
we got to find somebody to replace me.
All right,
Can't
we're
just
working on
abandon
that.
these kids.
Mrs. Groom.
Yeah.
No, you can't. So you're locked in for a while.
No, I will not.
No, you're not
replace
going to do
him.
it either.
No.
Okay. Congratulations, Mr. Figgy, on all your years of service to us. We appreciate it.
Thank
You're not allowed to leave.
Okay.
And even if your wife says you have to leave, we'll have to pressure her. But good luck to you guys the rest of the season.
Thanks.
And maybe we can have you guys on when it gets time to the end of the season for the tournament stuff.
Sure, that'd be great.
All right, awesome. All right, we're going to take a break right now on Tiger Talk, and we'll be back.
Hey, mama said the way you move gonna make you sweat, gonna make you groove. Ah, God, way you shake that thing, gonna make you burn, gonna make you stay. Hey, baby, when you walk that way, watch honey drip, can't keep away.
One of our underwriters here at WSKB's Community Radio is Carson Center for Health and Human Services, a nonprofit organization located at 20 Broad Street in Westfield. They provided behavioral health and rehabilitation services in communities throughout Western Massachusetts since 1963. There are services for children, adolescents, adults, families, and couples. You can find them on the web at carsoncenter.org or at 413-572-4132.
Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 89.5 FM, WSKB Westfield.
And we're back, everybody. Welcome to Tiger Talk. It's 8:50 on September 21st, 2023. We just had the cross-country team on with Mr. Figgy's the coach and Sean Cronin and Caitlin Hawley. They did a good job, huh?
They do.
Yeah. Listen, we are.
Caitlin's a pro. She's on here several times a year.
I'd appreciate if you didn't interrupt me like that anymore. That was rude. You know what? That's a demerit for Groom. That's one. We're gonna do a Facebook poll. Okay, does Groom come back? I couldn't. I tried to be nice the whole show, but it eats at you. It's like the devil and the angel on the shoulder, right? Get her. And I'm like, no, I'm not.
You have two devils. Not
So
angel.
they were awesome. We are run by the kids for the kids.
Speaking of the kids.
Speaking of that, who do we have running the show today?
Curtis Elmer over there on video.
Yeah.
And-
Who's doing our sound?
Sound is
a newbie.
Jasmine Markowitz. And
Oh, Jasmine's doing great.
she's doing a great job.
Yeah.
And she picked the Led Zeppelin song for us.
Yes, much better than the
Thank you.
first
Oh,
song.
boy.
Mrs. Groom picked the first song by Seether. I think they had one song
No,
that I know
no,
my
no.
whole life, and you picked the
That's
one
because
that
you're too
nobody
busy
knows.
listening to.
Dave Matthews today,
No,
this weekend
no,
at the
yeah.
Westfield Brewing,
No.
River Brewing. They're going to
You're
be
a
the Dave
Swiftie.
Matthews
That's
knock.
what I'm talking about. You have some big news about Taylor Swift that I really don't care about.
Yes, I forgot that. Taylor Swift, I heard on the radio that USA Today is hiring a writer just to follow Taylor Swift around the country.
Boring.
No, well, hey,
Yeah.
if you were a Swiftie,
That's
you would be super excited about that.
I'm not.
Maybe another Facebook poll,
I do
our
like people
most
who are
favorite
Swifties,
Taylor Swift
though.
song. That's be another.
You know what, Mr. Grimsley
Mr.
would do
Forney's
that
in on that
because
too,
I
so
think
we'll have to
Mrs.
get him
Grimsley
on
would
that
answer
too because he
that.
loves
Oh.
Taylor Swift too. He's a big
Would you
Swiftie.
stop interrupting me?
You know, we tried to go the whole show, and you are sass master right now. I can't deal with it.
And
Vin,
here we are. We have Vince Escarpita because he is our sports guy today.
so Vin, last week, I don't know if did you watch the show from last week?
No, I couldn't.
Okay. You know,
And it was on YouTube, so
Yeah.
I was going to look for it.
Yeah.
And
all right,
forgot.
we're gonna start sending everybody the show, but we had our other sports people on, Mikey Sanchez and Antonio Simpson, and you come prepared. You're the stat guy, right? And then we have Al, the color guy, who adds his comments, right? And the two of them last week, boy, did they! But they're gonna come back strong next week.
You know, if we go back to Al and Vince's first show,
Yeah.
they were a little rusty too. They've polished, and
Yeah.
Antonio
So we're expecting.
and Mikey will polish up.
We're
well,
expecting.
me and Al get a little bit extra work into for our own podcast.
That's right. So,
Yeah.
I did want to talk about that, though. We are starting our own radio station.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know when, but we're going to have Mr. Forney on to talk about that in the next week or the week after to talk about how that went down, what that entails. I know, Vince, you and Al do a regular podcast, right? So if you want to catch that, you guys put that up on YouTube
yeah,
as well,
we're going
right?
to plan on doing that too.
Yep. So that's you can catch that up on YouTube too as well. But I want to talk. Do you have the local sports update for us, or you just got national? What do you think?
Just national.
All right, let me give locally what's going on with us, and we'll talk to you for a sec. But we talked about cross country; they're doing great. But our girls soccer team, who we had on, was it last week, Mrs. Grum?
Yeah, it was us.
You're not paying attention. Here we go. All right, so
I am.
they are 4-0. They just beat. They beat a school. I'm not going to say who, but they just beat a school with literally it was 2 touchdowns to 0, and that was they were. It was a 7 through 12 kind of school.
Right, yeah.
And when you have 7th graders going against
I know,
high
that's
school
a
kids,
tough
that's
one.
not fair. But the big one I want to talk
Yeah.
about is that they beat McCann
That was a big one.
1-0. They've never beaten McCann before. That was the day that they were on the show,
That was.
or was it the day or the week?
No,
Yeah.
they were playing and they were anticipating.
So congratulations to the girls and Mr. Washington. They're on to a great start. Our boys soccer team equally doing well. I think they're 2-1 right now, but they just beat Taconic they thought I asked two kids, how are we going to do? Oh, we're going to Taconic. They're good, you know. And guess what? We beat them 1-0.
See?
Sean Johnson scored a goal.
Nice.
So that was awesome. We have golf going right now. They are 2-2. They beat East Hampton and Pathfinder. And I think Danny O'Connor's is he a sophomore now, right?
Yes.
Shooting in the 40s. And
He's excellent.
I saw Andrew Reed's name up there too. He was low 40s as well. So our fall sports are doing well.
They are.
And as we said in the past, as our enrollment and the increases, which it has, and more kids want to come here, we are getting more and more kids that want to get involved and
That
more
is
athletic
true.
kids.
That's true.
And it's showing.
And you know, I want to say outside off the fields and everything, these kids are making friendships. I see the seniors hanging out with some of the freshmen at lunch.
Yeah.
They have lunch together, teammates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Great.
I like that. So it's good. And that's everybody get involved with something. Doesn't matter if you're here at Westville High or middle school. Join a team, join a club, because you don't know. You might be friends with somebody freshman year, and you might pick up a different friend. Vince, do you have the same? Are you friends with the same people that you hung out with in 7th grade?
No.
Exactly, right? How it's changed over the years.
Yeah, it's
hasn't it?
changed. Definitely the schools, you know.
Yeah.
I kept some friends, and
Right.
of course, from all around this town.
Right.
And everyone wants to come to the tech. So.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And you
All right.
added new friends.
Yeah.
And you got new friends. I know, Vince. I can't. But what's your plans next year, Vince? We got a minute or so. What are you gonna do?
I'm probably going to ACC.
You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's probably my plan.
All right, and we know you're gonna get ready for baseball too. So
Yeah,
that's good.
baseball's coming up. Seen a few freshmen lingering about baseball.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, not season yet, but once it starts going, I'll probably be
Yeah.
more forward on that.
Yeah. So let's talk sports here. What's going on across the country with sports? Big news. We can quiz Mrs. Groom, see if she knows.
We got some. Well, of course, tonight's game.
Yes.
That's gonna be a big one.
Yep.
I think if you want to talk about that right now.
Well, let's wait. We'll finish with football. Give us a 30-second rundown on what's going on.
We got some running back news. A lot of running back change. I know Jamal Williams is hurt for New Orleans.
Yep.
We got Barkley, big one, out for 3 weeks.
Saquon, Al's New York
Yeah.
Giants. Yep.
And then Chubb.
Knee injury?
Nick Chubb.
Knee injury?
Ankle.
Oh, ankle.
Ankle.
Nick Chubb is with the knee injury.
Okay.
Nick Chubb. Well,
So-
that was the last Monday night. Right
yeah,
away.
So
Yep.
Kareem Hunt is back for Cleveland. So
okay.
Seems like that hole's been filled. And then Cam Akers to the Vikings.
Yep.
They just got a 6th-round pick or 2026 round pick.
Oh, they just made that trade.
Yeah, yesterday.
Akers. Okay, nice. Anything going on baseball?
Nothing
Red
much.
Sox and Yankees stink.
Yeah, they're fighting for last place.
Yeah.
Braves and Dodgers won the division.
Okay.
Rangers half a game behind Astros.
Oh, so that's still a
So,
run right there. Okay.
Yeah. And Tampa and Orioles are just fighting for the division. They've already made the playoffs.
They're in.
But they're
Yeah.
just fighting for the division.
Didn't Verlander go back to Houston?
Yep.
But he's hurt.
He's on and off.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
So.
All right. Cool. All right. Let's. And Otani. Did you have any news on Otani? I heard
Yeah,
his name.
Otani, he's going to DH next year, and he's not going to pitch until 2025.
Okay.
So he's going to be
But no pitching.
no pitching.
Sheho
So,
and Tom.
so his value's going to go down, definitely.
Yeah.
He's
He's up for a contract, right?
Yeah, he was projected almost $500 million, so I don't know where that's going to go now.
Oh, my
where
God.
He's gonna.
That's crazy. All right, let's talk football. We got like 2 minutes to go. I wanted to give a recap. Every week we do a football picks, 4 or 5 games. We keep track. This year we're doing it, Mrs. Groom.
Yeah,
You're not
Thought about it over the weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Buffalo Wild Wings. Al Rogers donating his gift cards to go to the winner. Maybe Mrs. Groom can chip in a little bit.
I think I should get half, whatever happens this year, because I won last year and nobody even recognized it. I'm going to say it every show.
Nobody needs old news. We're not talking about last year's scores, Mrs. Groom. I mean, come on. We live in the now here, and let's talk about the now. I got week 1 and week 2 combined for Mrs. Groom, 3 victories. Vince, and you are now teamed up with Antonio. You got 1 win the first week. He got 2, so you got 3. Al and Mikey Sanchez, they got 1 week, but they came back strong with 3, so they got 4. So you got 3, 3, and 4. And I don't know how this happened, but I had 3 the first week and 4 last week. So I'm at 7. So, guys, tasting those wings already.
You know what we have to do?
Who's keeping the score?
I was
I
just.
got-
We're on
I
the
got-
same track.
I'll show you
Yeah.
the score.
Now
This right
we got
here.
this.
All right. So tonight,
I'll play back each show.
tonight the G-Men versus San. You probably will watch the show and do it. I'm not cheating. Vince, who do you got? The Giants or San Francisco?
This guy has Giants L written all over it.
So you're going San Francisco.
Yeah.
And I'm going San Francisco. Mrs. Groom?
Going San Francisco.
We're all going San Francisco. We know Al. We'll get Al's picks later.
Just put him down as Giants.
You think he's gonna?
Yeah.
All right. He'll do the Giants. All right. We're gonna go New England versus the Jets. If New England loses this, it's over. They might as well just cancel the rest of the season. I'm gonna go with New England. Vince,
I'm going with New England.
Mrs. Groom.
New England.
All right, we'll leave Al. He'll probably pick the Jets. Who knows? I thought this was interesting, but this is your team anyway. But Carolina versus Seattle.
I think Seattle's going to take it.
What's Seattle's story? They win or no?
They did. They did win.
You got Seattle. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Seattle too. Carol.
I was going Seattle.
Okay, go. Pittsburgh, Las Vegas.
Oh.
At Las Vegas, I'm gonna go Vegas. Jimmy G. Vince.
You know what? I'll go Pittsburgh.
Okay, and Mrs. Groom.
I'm going Vegas, so that means I'm going nowhere.
Yep.
this
Okay.
week.
And the final game Monday night, we'll just pick one of them: the Rams versus the Bengals. With Joe Burrow, he's got to get off the snide here.
If he plays.
Okay. That decided my decision right there. I'm gonna go Rams. Vince.
I'm gonna go Bengals still.
Vince. Carol.
I'm going Cincinnati.
You're going Cincinnati,
going
WKRP.
opposite.
All right, that's it. We're done for another week of Tiger Talk. Thanks for joining us.
Shout out to the Connecticut Suns
What?
for beating the Minnesota.
Yes, we got to
Yeah.
shout that out. You know what? Next week, we'll have to talk some WNBA.
Yeah, Mr. Forney, big one on that.
Oh, is he
so-
doing an announcement for them?
Yeah. So
Okay.
they play the Liberty.
All right, let's go. All right, thanks. We'll see you next week.